Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's time for the first show match of the year. It's going to be a good time. As usual, we like to do these show matches that feature players from eliminated teams. You know, sometimes there's a lot of really all-star worthy players that might just not have had good games, or maybe don't have the full teams to back them up. So we're about to see a lot of these players right now. 16 of them. So we have a 8v8 here. Small difference this time around that's going to be pretty interesting to look at is we have one player per team, actually. So there's a very international representation in this match. It's going to be pretty interesting to watch. I'm Azer, and casting this with me is going to be this one guy. Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
We love some show matches, man. It's always fun to see players, like you said, who don't maybe have the best team around them, didn't get to perform in some late rounds, getting to show up and, you know, kind of show off what they're capable of in a match situation that they didn't get to experience in the tournament.
Yeah, there's a lot of players here that we didn't even get to see on stream, actually. So, notably, people like Rampax, who did not qualify. So it's going to be the first time we see them playing in OWC. They played in the qualifiers. They were, I think, if I have the number off the top of my head, I think they were like the 38th best player in qualifiers. So, you know, pretty solid player that we're looking at here that we might see some of today. But of course, everyone here, I think, kind of got to build their own stories in round of 32 and round of 16. A lot of carry potential. So it's kind of interesting to see how they end up matching on harder pools that they don't usually get to play, and on, you know, in relation to the crazy performances that we've been seeing from so many different teams that are still in the tournament on this semis pool, right? So pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's been there have been some pretty remarkable performances, so a lot to kind of live up to. But I think for me, like what I think is the best is just like you said, getting to see players who wouldn't normally get a shot at a pool like this because, you know, for one reason or another that you outlined. And you know, they just get to come together and like hang out, right? It's like just a bunch of players who wouldn't normally, you know, it's, you know, like people love like the Sweegie tournaments, right? Because they're random drafts where you get, you know, a team of people that you maybe didn't know, so you get to meet some new people and you get to just go out and have fun. And I think that's like a lot of the cool aspect of the show match is just putting together some players who wouldn't have been together otherwise, and they get to go out and have a good time. And low stress situation means you can often end up with some really cool performances.
Yeah, pretty much everyone involved here was super happy to receive an invite to play this. They all really enjoy, you know, getting that extra match that they can play. And honestly, the harder pools, you know, they're pretty different. I mean, this pool isn't going to be too different in difficulty from quarters, which we did see some of these players play. Not everyone. But still, you know, like sometimes it changes a little bit. There's still a lot of question marks, especially for players we haven't really seen of. So, I mean, for example, on the first team here, we have Chip from Israel, which we don't usually see qualify. And, you know, we saw Chip along with a couple of other Israeli players do really well against the USA in round of 32. But that's round of 32, you know, the pools are a lot easier. How do they do in semifinals? So there's a lot of stories like that we kind of host these things just to find out, you know, like there's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of players that we haven't seen too much of that are relatively new that seem to have extremely high skill caps. For example, Tichi from Japan, who was carrying very heavily. Unfortunately, his team did not get to advance too far, but, you know, maybe we'll see them carry in this one too.
Yeah, I think, you know, you have like Tichi, Chip, Rampax, as you mentioned, and then some of the players on the second team, like Phantasma from Thailand, or Amacetic and Suntan from Finland and Chile, which is like, again, you typically don't see those teams advancing super late. You don't get to see those players on these pools, but they surely have very good skill cap based on the performance we did see from them. So... And also, like, I guess Antonio as well, right? Spain, typically kind of an early round team, but they're good players from these teams anyway. So we'll see. I'm very curious. You know, it's like normally you have a team together, right, of players from the same country that practice together and train together and scrim together, and so they can set up like scores and strategies and stuff. I feel like for this, it's going to be a little different. So maybe we get to see just some more kind of for fun picks But unfortunately, Team Red is still banning out mechanics. They're doing the free mod 2 DT2 ban thing that everybody loves to do so much. So that's a little bit more straightforward. Wait, these are actually just like the we don't want the like carry players to get their maps. Like yolkpie still doesn't get to play Hidden 2 or free mod 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard. I don't think the actual pick ban for these teams is going to be serious at all. I'm sure it's just like, hey guys, this map's kind of cool. You want to play it? Like, I don't think there's, I'm not going to pretend like there's more than that. They don't exactly have time or, a reason to prepare too much. They just want to play the game, right? So we're just here to watch some good players that we don't really get to see much of. So.
Man, I wish there weren't bans so we could have gotten yolkpie Hidden 2 and free mod 3 and like, I don't know, demonical Tichi on some of those mechanical maps. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, we can still get to see them on everything else.
Carrot Fields first pick. Also, what was the basis for these names? Because I mean, yolkpie obviously, but Carrot Fields. Where did that come from?
I asked them for their team names, and nobody had a team name. I think it was Amacetic who just said Carrot Fields, and nobody else said anything, so they're now called Carrot Fields.
All right, fair enough. That's a good way to select a team name, I suppose.
Still better than a lot of community team names that we see from time to time. So I'll take these. Good job.
Yeah, I think community tournaments need to go to the we're just going to go to a random word generator system because they get some really questionable team names. And hey, shout outs to OWC here. We get one of the couple of custom made songs as the first pick. A little Hard Rock on action.
Yes, I'm glad I got to see some play. It's always nice to have a little bit more OC originals on board. I think the intent for that was always just to have them be more accessible as well, because in previous years, the only original stuff we got was the Grand Finals tiebreaker. And that is sometimes played by like 8 people, like there's like 400 players in OWC, man. Like we gotta give the rest of them a chance to play some interesting stuff. So it's cool that we get to have these earlier round original songs.
Yeah, and in like slots other than tiebreakers, which get to just increase selected, you can just pick it. I thought that was really cool when, for example, Corsace, the community tournament, did it. Where they had a couple of original songs in just regular slots instead of tiebreakers to go along with all the custom song tiebreakers. Same sort of thing happening here now, where you get just a map in the pool as well as a tiebreaker. So
trying to figure out who's playing each map here is going to be a very hard challenge. Normally I'd like to say we're pretty knowledgeable about who's playing what team synergies are like, but there are no team synergies here. It's just a bunch of random players. They probably don't even know what each other wants to play. Like it's gonna be pretty interesting. And I mean, again, like we don't get to see we don't really get a good grasp, at least isolated to the World Cup. We don't get a good grasp of the skill cap of any of these people. So I don't know, how do they hold up on a harder pool? Sometimes it's a little bit obvious because we see them in other tournaments, or like you can assume that like Demonical is going to be able to play everything because he's like ranked 20 or something. Like of course he can, but a lot of pretty unknown players here that honestly I haven't seen much of. So we'll have to see, and we do see a couple of them already. I mean, Suntan being one of them. I don't think Suntan is someone that's really talked about too much with regards to Team Chile. And as well as Chip, who we already talked about, right? So,
and then you get to see, and then kind of filling out. You get a couple of those new players, and you also, not new players, but like players you see less of. But it's also in addition to some players that kind of go through the different levels of like OWC results, where you have like Demonical on a team Singapore, or Tichi on Team Japan, or Nathan Ram from Philippines, where they like typically at least get top 16, top 12. And then you have some guys that kind of get like top 18 through 24, and then you get some guys that are like 25 through 32. So it's kind of a nice like tiered sort of system where you have players at all different levels of team results, regardless of their like individual skill level. And
yeah, so a small difference that we're doing, because it's not the first time we host a show match like this. I like to do this in semifinals every year, but usually we kind of just took whoever played the best, like of all players, So you'd end up with these like fairly stacked teams of, you know, like it would still kind of look like the same team most of the time. You know, if you have like 3 players from the same team and they pick each other in the draft, well, you know, you might just see the exact same team you were already watching in the World Cup, but with some random guy, you know. So, but now it's entirely different. I said it already, but all 16 players are from different teams. So you get kind of, for the most part, I don't think it's true for every single one of these teams, but for the most part, these are also the best performing players of those teams. And if you think there's people missing from that, it's probably because they're here later. Just saying.
Just wait for the future. There will be more. You know, it'd be really cool, and this is not like a feasible thing, but you know how well, you probably don't, but if people who watch like the NFL in the Pro Bowl, they wear like team uniforms, but they wear their own team's helmet, which is, you know, just the All-Star game basically, so you can identify what team they're all from. It'd be super cool if you could do something like that for this, so you could tell where which teams the players are all from. Pipe dream for the future of Laser, having flags next to the players' names on the screen. That would be so sick, though.
That would be a pretty good idea, yeah.
But as we get in, Hard Rock 1 was... How many? I think this has been played, what, maybe 2 or 3 times over the course of the weekend so far, and it's proven fairly difficult, I feel.
It's really
for a lot
hard,
of people.
yeah.
Yeah, this map is quite difficult, and you can kind of see a lot of players not having necessarily the greatest time. I also wonder, you know, if like these guys, none of them obviously played this week in this round, so like they weren't practicing the pool heavily from the jump. I don't know how early these rosters were like constructed to give them time to prepare for the match, but you know that there's that.
They had a couple days. I think they had like 2 days.
Okay.
I mean, right now,
Antonio and Demonical.
yeah. I mean, again, Demonical definitely someone you'd expect to show up with a combo like that. But again, I mean, you're seeing Antonio. You never really get to see a player like that show up in semifinals. So it's good to know. Apparently, Antonio's really good at this map.
And you know, even if the teams didn't have a ton of time together, they could still be like, okay, you know, they could put in like a score or 2 on a sheet, just have a vague idea, like, hey, I'm good at, you know, hard rock aim, guys. Hey, I'm good at low air hidden or whatever. And you know, like Demonical, obviously just good at pretty much everything, but a player like maybe Antonio or whatever is somebody who can come in on a hard rock 1 even in the late round and put a pretty decent score. This is a very one-sided affair thanks to Demonical just carrying. He's actually... Have we seen more than like maybe 1 FC on this? I don't even know. Finally the break at the end, unfortunate.
I wish I had the stats pulled up right now.
Yeah.
How that score actually compares to people who've actually played that in an actual round, you know? Because that seems quite good.
Let me see. We do have I found the stats sheet link, so let's take a peek, because that Demonical score is probably going to stack up pretty okay. Scrolling over, that is the number 2 score of the week, only behind Crystal, who FC'd in their match this morning against Russia. Demonical just put up the number 2 score of the entire week. Now, granted, this has only been played twice, but that's still an impressive result.
So, any cat burger experts? Is this why he's called Cat Burger?
It's just cats jumping on him and sitting
like an actual cat burger tablet. I respect it. I know the struggle.
Right. I've seen your stream. Cat just Dashy just doing whatever. We'll go over to I believe Team Yolk.
Alright, yeah, yolkpie. Alright, so on this team, it's yolkpie, Shields, Nathan Ram, Prain Maluko, Chip, Catburger, Neshpi, or Pogger CZ, and Shadow Modico. What does that scream? I don't know.
Well,
it's a very like wild mishmash of players. I don't even. It's pretty hard to think of a common skill set between all of them. I think probably not very speed oriented. I would say that's the one thing I will say.
Yeah, I think that's
and
like
you got like Shield and Korean and yeah.
That's kind of like a combo game team. Like Yoke's Shield can just combo stuff. That's kind of their thing, and Shield is just. I mean, Shield is like maybe the best player on this team in solo play lately, but Korean Maliko is probably the best player in tournament play historically on this squad.
So
at least in open rank.
this was drafted, right? So we just picked 2 captains, which were yolkpie and Antonio, and Shield was the first pick. So that should tell you how much they value Shield, or at least how much yolkpie values Shield.
Yeah, I think they probably fit each other's like skill sets pretty well, and Shield is just, like I said, Shield is just very, very good. I think, but assuming he's going to be playing stuff, because he doesn't appear to be in for this either, so it's 2 maps in and he will not have played one yet. But we'll see how it goes. Get yolkpie coming in. Shadow Monaco, Catburger, Hoggers CZ. What a name, Hoggers CZ.
I think it's a relic from the time where everybody had stupid names and then they just kept it. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Zone Louise.
Hey, they finally reverted, right?
Yeah.
To say nothing of, 3 members of China's team. That's, I think, probably the worst. Oh, that's not even a relic. That's only, what, a year old or so. But that's still probably the least fun team to try to commentate. Because you either call them by names that are nearly indistinguishable, or you call them by the names that don't match up with what's on the screen, and there's just no winning that.
Well, at least there's actually like a visual distinction between them, as opposed to oh man, who was it? Was it Chile a couple years ago?
Yes, with Dilson, the Dilson incident. Okay, I was gonna bring that up. I'm glad you got to it first. Oh god, that was. I think that was maybe 2019. I think that might have been my first year commentating OWC. That was probably the worst team like username collab that there's ever been, because it was literally indistinguishable, because it was just replacing like capital I, lowercase L. Oh man.
All right, so who picked this, right? So it's yolkpie. Who on team yolkpie you think really wanted to play this? Like
Yolks and maybe Catburger. I don't really. I will be honest and say I don't know Shadow Monaco's skill set at all. So
well, apparently it seems to be the correct answer there, because he's so far doing the best.
Meanwhile, Tichi Demonical. Tichi was looking so good in the matches that he played for Japan in their actual bracket run. Demonical, as we said, is like... Demonical might just be the best player in this match, depending on, whether or not we see much of Shield or Korean Moloko. But that's a player who is very consistently excellent in OWC over the past few years. We got yolkpie and Catburger and Poggers CZ all holding just fine.
I believe in terms of like statistically in quarters, the best player here was Demonical.
Statistically speaking, Nurge.
Yeah, that's of the players that have played quarters, so there are a few that didn't get
right. And it's interesting, like, when you have these teams that are, tossed together and aren't players that we see in late pools, like, whether they go for their picks with more mechanical maps like the Hard Rock 1, or whether they go with, something like the Snowmod 3 where it's just an alt map, or something like, Nomod 4 where it's a specific sort of gimmick. Like, do you have players for gimmick, or do you have players for mechanics? And it's people that we don't really have a great idea for that on, because it's a later pool. It's curious to see what the pick strategy, quote-unquote strategy, not really, probably all that thought-out strategy. But if you have a team that's like combo game, like you've got yolkpie who's just going to combo through stuff, or Shield who's just going to combo through stuff, like do you pick more gimmick maps versus picking raw mechanics?
I think people tend to kind of shy away from the gimmick stuff in this. Anything that just requires practice, because obviously they don't have that. So.
Well, this is the yolkpie show here, huh? 1100 combo, the only FC left, or near FC. Did he break at the very beginning? He might have broken at the very, very beginning. TG Amacetic doing pretty well for themselves, acquitting themselves well here, but yolkpie and Shadow Monaco are outperforming even that. And this is the sort of thing that I feel like yolkpie is just really good at.
Yeah, it's not often really talked about, because I mean, obviously he's known for different things, but yeah, no, not all doing quite good here.
We see him in community tournaments in both rank restricted and open rank, but as like a player who just gets to the late rounds or has historically gotten to the late round and just been able to carry because he's able to hold combo in maps where a lot of people can't when you get to those super late stages. And it's kind of just happening again here, as really no one else is even stacking up, but yolkpie and Shadow Motico are just gaming.
Well, it's interesting to see that so far both teams' first picks look like they're great successes. Like, you know, respectively, certain players on their teams have popped off on their own pick. Maybe the people that have picked the maps themselves. Who knows? I mean, yeah, yolkpie here, not an FC actually. Maybe he did miss at the beginning.
Yeah, he broke right at the start. I think he was a little bit of combo behind. I mean, obviously he was, but like, it was very, very early on. I forget the total max combo of this map, but that is pretty close to the start, considering his final score. So we get Hard Rock 1, super one-sided win for Carrot Fields. Nomad 3, very one-sided win for yolkpie. We'll see.
Yeah, so we talked about Red Team. Let's talk about the other team now, the full roster on that one, because it was just briefly on stream and people are probably not super familiar. So we've got Antonio, Demonical, we've got Tichi, which we've seen. We have Plasma, Rampax as well. We have Phantasma, good name synergy, not intended. Amacetic and Suntan. So that's the full Team Blue. No clue what they're picking, but it looks like they're going to Nomad Tech here.
Man, there's some one that, I mean, I think the one player for me that, as we talked about earlier, is like Suntan, as a player that I've just literally never heard of. I know. So it's kind of cool, like, to have that sort of player.
There were a few players like that, where in the case of like a specific team having, you know, pretty close performances, you know, you could have realistically picked a couple of people as the one player from that team. The one that stood out the most to me was Team Finland. There's a player on Team Finland called Desku who was invited to play but unfortunately can't play because they're sick or something. And, you know, apparently they did quite good. I've personally never heard of them before, so I was looking forward to seeing them play here potentially, but do know of Amacetic because they have played last year, I think, in a Showmatch, and also him and Freeze for Team Finland, I think, were probably the two main carries in the last couple of years. So I don't know, there's always a couple of players like that, you know, kind of sounding like a broken record, but it really is interesting to me, at least personally. I like seeing, you know, what they can do on these harder pools. A lot of players, you know, that are quite, you know, brand new. Plasma, good example, wasn't really there last year, first year in the OWC, so.
Plasma was like one of the bright spots for a UK team that was definitely in a rebuilding year this iteration of OWC. Like, they lost obviously some of their best historic players, and brought in several new, and he was one that really showed up and performed quite well. Their matches against Finland, and who was their last match against last week? Was that China? I want to say it was China. And like, despite them losing that match, he still performed pretty well in both of them. So curious to see how he does, you know, a week later. A little bit harder pool, but obviously still a player with super high skill cap. And we do get Shield coming in for this one for yolkpie, so we'll see, you know, one of the really good players on that team that we hadn't seen as of yet, as well as Korean Moloko. This map is so cool. Like, I love watching this Nomad 4 played. Yeah. It's very... In a normal match scenario, I feel like the tension on this map is really high because you have all these sections where you can break, whether it's on like the cut patterns or the slider aim patterns.
Yeah.
And so combos feel really volatile.
I just love the aesthetic of this map. Somehow it still manages to play super well and look this nice.
Good job, Altai. Shoutouts to Altai. Very, very well done, the 1-4. This song is also just good, so like it lends itself to a really hype map. And yo, Carrot Fields are actually gaming super hard right now. Demonical, Phantasma, and Antonio are all holding. I don't know how many teams, even in like that are actually still in the bracket, we've seen hold 3-ways through half this map. Unfortunately, Antonio did end up breaking, but still a pretty impressive way to start this off, though. It's very close with the combos over on yolkpie. There's Catburger playing quite well again. Dude is very solid. Another one where only got to see them. They got eliminated, what, 2 weeks ago, I believe?
They did get to play quarters, but we didn't get to see much.
Oh, they lost to Philippines in a pretty one-sided affair. That's right. I forgot they were in quarterfinals. Sweet. The Monocle is still holding, and Catburger is still holding. Like, I don't care who you are. FC or near FC on this is very impressive. Finally, another break from Catburger. Man. This is comebackable for Carrot Fields. The Monocle holds. I think Shield's got enough combo to make it slow going, though.
Isn't it crazy that these players aren't playing in semis?
Yeah, you know, Taiwan had kind of a weird go of things this year, unfortunately. Dropping to losers pretty early and then having to face off against France last week. Singapore, I think, just kind of gets out roster depthed, as it were. I know none of those are words, but it's close enough. But
we can use our own vocabulary here.
Dude, Demonical, that score is really good. That score is really good. That's like top 10, I think, on the map this week. 865k. That's like the 6th best score we've seen on this map, and this has been a popular one. Like, this has been played, like,
I think every match, actually.
Five times, yeah. Out of not quite every match, but nearly. yolkpie end up taking it. That's a break point. Nomad 3 first pick. We'll see what those players want to maybe just have some fun with. I'm trying to think of what maps I haven't seen in a match that I would like to see, and I think it's actually the only map I haven't seen played is Nomad 1.
Yeah, that's true. It hasn't been played too much. Everything has a pretty decent spread, I think, of playability. Actually, Hard Rock 3, I think we've also only seen once.
Yeah, Nomad 1 was played in
that one was also
Hong
really hard, that's why.
Yeah. Nomad 1 was played in Hong Kong versus Indonesia. Hard Rock 3 was played in China versus Romania and USA versus South Korea. Hidden 2 has not been played at all. I wonder if that's like 100% ban rate. It might just be 100% ban rate.
I think it is.
Let me see.
I think it actually is.
Not quite, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's been banned in 6 out of 7 matches so far. The only one that it wasn't banned in was USA versus South Korea.
Okay, now we're seeing some maps.
Yo, free mod 4?
All right, who is
down?
modding this stuff? Okay, let's see. So we've got, I want to say maybe Nathan Hidden for Yoke. Well, probably yolkpie would play this.
yolkpie hidden. Surely yolkpie.
Maybe they both play. I don't know.
Yo, double hidden. Overmod Showmatch.
That's true.
Are you down? Are you down for some overmodding?
We've made this joke too many times already. It's past its core. The bid is over. No more.
The bit will never die until the round is over and the map is no longer in the pool, Alex.
Yeah, we got like 2 hours to go for that.
I can't wait for Germany versus Poland to play free mod 4 and have the casters make the same joke that nobody is sick of at all.
This is why I do the map pool showcases, so I can make the joke first and claim that I'm original.
Original joke, do not steal, property of comedian Alex Azer Frost.
Alright, who in Carrot Fields plays what? I think Amacetic is a hidden player, I will say. I think Antonio is also a Hard Rock player, but I don't know if any of them are overmodding. A good chance that they are. It's a show match, why not?
And yeah, Antonio was in on Hard Rock 1, so possibly could be Hard Rock on this. I guess you could technically also put Demonical on Hard Rock. if he's like your best player, put your best player
Why
on the
not
harder
both?
mod. ¿Por qué no los dos?
Actually, there's strong reasons why you should not run 2 hard rocks on this, but it's a
Yeah,
Showmatch.
Enjoy your 93% accuracy. Your double hard rock.
Yeah, this is one of the maps in this moved rhythm slot, I suppose, where hard rock is kind of just a tank mod on this. There's just no way around it, but that's okay. We kind of have a different approach with a lot of the free mod balance. A lot of people care a lot about having the individual mods themselves be balanced with each other, but you know, if both teams have to play the same mods, then does that really matter?
I think it makes difficulty balancing for rhythm picks harder to have them in free mod.
Just
like
impossible.
Yeah, like trying to difficulty balance a nomad's like a formerly nomad 6 style map in a free mod pool is like 10 times harder than balancing it nomad or in just a single mod pool, because it's going to be, I feel like the thing we saw talked about with like Akoro and stuff this week, right, was that this particular pick, if you're on nomad, is a lot easier than on hard rock, and
even for hidden
most
mains,
people way easier than on hidden.
Even for hidden mains, you only have to run 1 hidden player on this. Most teams that are in semifinals have a hidden main that are going to be able to play this just fine. Maybe not good act, but you know.
Worst HR player hidden FC this with like 99.2 ac.
Yeah.
But that was not normal. That is not a standard performance. That's like above the expectation by several orders of magnitude.
It allows us to balance these free mod pools in a pretty specific way. Like, I'll take Grand Finals as an example, even though we're not quite there yet. When you think of a free mod map in Grand Finals and you think of the mod balance, well, you think about who's playing that. Like a hard rock free mod map, it's like 3 of the best players in the world, and that's it. You know, you're making the pool balance on hard rock around the 3 best hard rock players in the world, you know, more or less. So
the thought process behind the balancing is a little bit different when you're balancing it for that few players, I suppose. And man, this was yolkpie's pick, and they're not having a great time of it, shall we say. Meanwhile,
I wonder
triple FC?
I wonder if they're all sight reading.
I would never in a million years want to be sight reading this map in a match. I tell you what, holy moly. Like, I am by no means a rhythm player, but still, I would never even think about wanting to sight read this in a match.
There are 4 good reasons not to sight read this, and they're all written on the map itself.
Meanwhile, though, dude, Phantasma and Antonio are FCing.
I don't think we've seen a lot of hard rock FCs on this. There's a lot of miss potential. And any of the scores that we've seen are around this accuracy as well. I think the highest I've seen was like 95?
Yeah, Vroom and Karcher, both hard rock FC this with like just shy of 95 ac. And then it goes down to Milk Tea, who had an S rank with 820k. So there have been like some pretty decent hard rock performances, but it's been fairly spread out. Interestingly enough, the 2 best scores on this map have been hiddens, because there have been a couple of pretty good ac hidden FCs. And then you have Akoro, who had a 99.28 ac on FC because he's Akoro.
Yeah, of course.
Literally what he does. Phantasma, though, putting up a really good showing. I mean, for a team that is not really that highly regarded, I feel, generally speaking, of in Thailand, Phantasma coming out and FCing this like casually with 96 ac, that's a pretty solid score, honestly.
Oh, fast pick. All right, DT1.
Wow. Well, Carafield's first picked hard rock 1, so maybe they do kind of want to play more, you know, of the mechanic heavy maps. Nomad 4 notwithstanding.
So obviously Demonical comes back in for this one. Maybe we're seeing Suntan? I believe Suntan is a DT player. I don't think we've seen him play a map yet. Also, have we not seen...
Have we seen Rempax?
True. Maybe they'll play.
I don't know. I actually, another player where, you know, just haven't seen enough of them to be super comfortable guessing at their skill set. Demonical Tichi, maybe Antonio, because he seems like, you know, kind of mechanics player.
There tends to be a pretty solid... I don't know the word I'm looking for here, like association, correlation. There's a good correlation with their rank as far as how good they can play DT. Usually, if they're really high ranked, they're probably a DT player.
Yeah, it feels like kind of on average, there's a good chance. And hey, guess what? There is Rampax with that. It's like there's an old XKCD comic about correlation does not imply causation, but it does, you know, kind of give you a little bit of a wink and a nudge. Catburger, Shadow Motoko, Poggers, CZ. Nope. Catburger, Shadow Motoko, someone in Korean Moloko. Shield. Shield is really good at DT. That guy is scary.
That's an obvious one.
I think we're set here. We do get to see Rampax. We get to see Demonical on more mechanics map. We get Chip. I can't remember who played what for Israel because they ran like
they played everything.
Yeah, they ran like basically
like
the same roster.
Really good.
Yeah, they had like core. There was like what? Chip, Galog,
Mr. Potato,
Mr.
Potato Chip. Yes.
I don't want to have to make a silly association like that. Just a full.
Listen, we've been trying to get them in OWC for like years now. They're finally both in there. We have to milk that a little bit.
It's funny to me, you know, 2 years ago they qualified for the bracket with Zilver, and then they actually managed to get back in without him a couple years later. Despite, like, that's the best player that Israel's ever had, and it's really not all that close. So to see them putting up a pretty good showing without him makes me wonder, like, how well they could have done with him if he were still interested in playing tournaments, which I'm pretty sure he's just hasn't been for quite some time. See how this one goes. Carrot Field seems like a pretty good mechanics team. Let's see how they get to some of those longer streams. I feel like that's like the indicator of comfort on the map. Or you can just miss on nothing like Korean Moloko and Amazonic.
I think it's actually, for this one, I think it's kind of like a barrier of entry. So if you're playing, I mean, in a normal match, if you're playing this, you probably have no issues at all with the streams. None of them are like hard to hit or anything. There's no aim or anything. I think it's mostly just about some of these really weird aim angles, a lot of like really wide angles like those ones. Not super common.
Yeah, that's like that Evil Elvis kind of hallmark, just known for uncomfortable sort of angles. It's like the Alibay special. Just make it uncomfortable for players to aim. Well, Shield is doing his job. Unfortunately, the backing scores not quite where they need to be for Yolkpie. Meanwhile, you have Demonical, Rampax, and Teachy. Oh, okay, Demonical and Teachy. I'm sorry, Rampax, that's my fault. I will take that L. Field's looking pretty good once again. Like, these are going to be pretty solid scores if they can keep this up. And I mean, Demonical at 99.39, 99.4 act, dropped a couple hundreds there, but shows that he is definitely more than comfortable with playing late round pools like this one. Obviously he was a top performer in quarterfinals last week, so not too surprising, but kind of just reinforcing how good he is. Teachy holding that backing FC as well.
That pattern.
That pattern.
It caught so many people in actual matches there.
And it caught 4 here, right? Shadow Motoko, Chip, Rampax, and Teachy all broke, and then Amazonic followed up just a little while after. I think this is what you kind of came to see in the show match like this, right? You have Shield, who's one of the best couple players on yolkpie. You have Demonical, who's probably the best player in Carrot Fields, and they're both holding an FC here on this DT1. So very impressive performances from both of those guys. It's really really cool to see. If we can get a double FC out of those two on this map, that'd be neat. And they do it. Yeah. How about that? They're ready to go, man. Still a decently comfortable win for Carrot Fields, a couple 100,000 points, but Shield FC, a little bright spot for yolkpie.
Yeah, Teachy doing pretty well as well. Chip, not too bad as well on the other side. Only a couple misses, pretty good accuracy, almost the top of the lobby actually. Unfortunately, Shield exists. Or fortunately, rather.
Yeah, fortunately for yolkpie.
I like watching Shield.
Yeah, that's like, let's be real, the result doesn't really make that much difference, so it's just cool to see people coming in and putting up good scores like that. So fortunately, it's fortunate this Shield this year. Yolkpie pick?
Alright, let's see some hidden. For no reason at all, I just want to see some hidden.
I want to see Nomad 1 because the song's a banger, to be honest. I know that's crazy coming from me of all people, but like, we get these Western songs in pools. Last week, they were pretty popular with the Sum 41 Fremont 1 was like a really popular pick. And then this week you go Nomad 1 Western song and it's just almost ignored. Bit of a shame, really. We'll see. They went with the Fremont 4, so probably gonna be maybe like a hidden 3. That'd be a good one, I think. Nomad 5, so that the tournament client can completely break again. You have learned from your mistakes. Never pick a double tap map again if you want the attorney client to be able to, function at all.
It's pretty funny the way it works. I don't know. It doesn't even seem like it's the double taps that are causing it. It's like a cider break before. I don't know.
There's a couple maps in this pool that the tournament client really does not appreciate very much, unfortunately. In the 1-5, the tiebreaker, we had some issues with as well. Hey!
Perfect. If you have no idea what we were just talking about, now you do. Let's see it.
Yokes is like watching the stream for sure. That was the perfect timing for him to have heard us talking about it and then to pick it. Yo, why wasn't this the loved one though? The remix. That version of the song is so good.
Reasons.
I mean, that would have been like probably a worse pick here, and it also that also has like some unrankable elements, right? It's got like off screens.
Who knows? This is the one we got instead. I'm kind of wondering who is even good at. Obviously, yolkpie's playing this. I think Nathan, which I think is their first map playing, is pretty good at this. But like, this is just such a weird map. It kind of rewards combo gaming. We talked about a couple of combo gamers in here. But this is just not a skill set that you see like anyone here ever play.
It's to be fair, it's a skill set you don't see most people play in general. Like there aren't a lot of folks out there playing maps like this just regularly, right? Also, there aren't many maps out there like this in the first place, which is, I suppose, why it makes for a kind of good Nomad 5 in this new usage of Nomad 5. It's just like something really different and off the wall. Homicetic saying yolkpie 88% FC, calling it right now. Honestly, would not be surprised at all.
Let's play over under 88. I go over.
I'll take the under. I'm not super confident about it, but if you're gonna take the over, I feel like I have no choice
but
to take the under on
yolkpie?
that. Yolkpie not. I mean, he can be an act player on certain maps, but not known for his accuracy.
I don't know. I think it's a free W for this one. Absolutely over. I will not take this yolkpie slander.
Azer's gonna smash the over on this one. We'll see what
I forgot to do my pick'ems on a week, so this is my version of pick'ems now. I'm coping.
It's okay, dude. Everyone's pick'ems were freaking ruined this week anyway. I think I had the worst week in pick'ems that I've had in the history of pick'ems existing this week.
Yeah, that's extremely reasonable with the amount of upsets that happen.
All right, let's see how this goes for everybody. What's the act gonna look like? This map should actually be win condition act. Thoughts?
Not this one. I mean, I'm down for that, but not this one actually. This map has a very interesting like dynamic. I guess you kind of have two ways to play this. If you try to play the map normally, which is not too difficult if you play this kind of thing, like you can time all of this just fine, but the aim becomes ridiculously snappy if you try to do that. So in a way, it kind of rewards combo gaming, kind of like ignore the rhythm and taking more of your time to try to hit these snap aim patterns. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I was just watching the beginning of that map on Demonical's screen and watching his snap aim because he was holding an SS for the first couple hundred combo while nobody else was, and it was pretty inspiring to see what he was doing over there. But now it's a little closer. Catburger and yolkpie once again. Those two holding some solid combo down. Yolkpie at 93%. So
I think I'm winning.
Your over might be doing pretty well here. Yeah, you're gonna probably hit that over. Come on. I don't want yolkpie to chain miss. I just want him to chain hundreds. Give me like 600s in a row.
Especially the client like absolutely hates this section here. This is where we see all the breaks in quotations. I don't know. This map is so hard and hard to follow, even just watching. It's really hard to tell whether any of these misses are actually real or not. They very well could be. I think that's why it's super confusing. But it looks like Catburger actually. First time mentioned on this map. Catburger with I believe it's an FC, just really low AC FC. Yeah, there it is.
So I did say that Catburger and yolkpie were holding the combo down, so I mean, you know, I did throw the name out there. That's a B rank from yolkpie. That's a little unfortunate, but he did get the 92 AC, so doing pretty okay there.
He not even close to 88.
Dude, can we talk about Nathan 97?
Yeah,
he didn't have great combo, so it didn't feel like we were mentioning him at all. But 97 AC on that is actually unreal.
So that's exactly what I was talking about with that dynamic or whatever. It's very like possible for a lot of players to get an act like that. You're just not gonna combo. It just becomes an aim map. If you try to play this properly, it's an aim map. And a very weird one at that. I'm not too surprised that they did well though. I think it's definitely up their alley.
That was a good pick. It's 3-3. We're staying dead even, which is good. It means the teams are pretty well balanced after the draft. Carrot Fields. They've gone a couple of mechanics. They should just like work their way through the ones. Just go like hidden one or nomad one here. Just, you know, stay on that left side of the map full screen. Seems to be working out okay for them so far. I'd say free mod one, but that map is 4 minutes long, and it makes my brain sad because it just takes so long to get.
We've seen enough of that one. We've seen it a couple of times. People really like the consistency pick. I don't know if we've seen really enough of this one though. This song is so good.
I love this pick so much. Like, this song is really good, and the map is just really enjoyable to watch because, like, whenever you see people who are good at D&B DT on this map, it just is so, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just enjoyable to watch, I guess.
I like it a lot because it's a very different style of pick as well. This one just very heavily focuses on slider aim. And finger control, and usually when you have DT, just the nature of like the BPM when you slap DT on D&B usually makes it some kind of speed map or like burst map. This one, it doesn't have too much of that though, so I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah, this is.
Wait, has there been a breakpoint so far? I think this all one.
There were two, okay. Right? They traded the Nomad 4 and Free Mod 4 breakpoints.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're seeing the same. Who have we not seen? We haven't. Yeah, Plasma's played. Okay, I think everybody's played now.
I think everyone's probably played at least one. Yeah. There's kind of core players since Carrot Fields do seem to have a little bit of a strategy. They do actually seem to have a little bit of a strategy in mind here, where they're going the kind of, you know, more mechanic-y fix with a couple of DTs.
We have Demonical. We're gonna play.
Yeah.
Demonical.
We're gonna play skill cap mechanics maps because we have Demonical on our team.
You think yolkpie plays this one?
To be fair, you yourself said that there's a bunch of slider aim aspects to it, and also Zudinator played this last night and did really, really well on it. So
Zudinator's a speed player now. That's different.
Kappa? Or
no Kappa.
Alright, well, I'll take your word for it. That was the one missing skill set in her repertoire, so if she has if she has filled that one in, then she's just never gonna lose again. She'll win every 1v1 tournament until the end of time.
Yolkpie DT3. All right, let's see it. I'm curious.
All right,
You're just talking about how maybe there's some skill sets that people don't usually mention. Maybe this is one of them.
Over under Yolkpie accuracy this time.
88 under.
Just 88 again. Well,
I don't know. Still probably better than I could do. So
this is not something that necessarily everybody is going to be great at, but who knows? Yolkpie comes ready to play in a show match. Maybe he's going to do better than we'd expect from him. Also, this is like shield map for sure. Unironically.
Yeah.
Like no joking around about that part. This is the sort of thing that Shield eats for 3 square meals a day.
there's a lot of so something about the DT pool this week. We did something weird, I guess, because of Paper Moon. So that's why we have a very different DT pool. And players seem to enjoy it, but a lot of these maps that we're looking for in order to fulfill that like weird DT thing, you look at the leaderboards and like Shield's like the only one with an FC on it. There are so many maps like that we come across that Shield just happens to be the only person that can really play the map or like has a good score on the leaderboards. He's so consistently good at these like unconventional DT picks. Not sure if that was a real miss. I hope it's not, because then I look silly.
Well, unfortunately, I think you're going to be made to look silly. I don't think that invalidates your statement, though, because as somebody who, plays and looks at a lot of different maps, I do see Shield. He'll be like rank 1 DT only, and there's no other mod FCs on stuff that's, recently ranked or, kind of the type of map that a lot of people don't play.
Hold on, 88 is like spot on for this.
Yeah, he's dead on 88.
Under or over? Can join in now.
It's gonna end up being under because there's still an entire half of the map to go.
I don't know.
It's gonna be close. It might just stay there, but it wouldn't. I would expect it, if anything, to help in smoke. Okay, that's not gonna help your confidence in the over 88 here. He does get to build up some accuracy in this section, though. This is free. This is free to build a little bit of back, hopefully, for him. Also, shoutouts to the triple FC for Carrot Fields, by the way. Amasek, Demonical Tichi. That's
was
pretty crazy.
That is crazy. We haven't seen too much of that.
We saw Canada did well in this. Australia did well in this. That was a super, super close matchup when they played it. And then Canada realized that they should probably have Ryuke on this map, and they increased their score by like 700k the second time. Oh, 2 of the FCs just instantly fall. That's too bad. Oh my gosh, he's actually gonna do it, isn't he? He's gonna go 89. It's so close. It's just balanced on the knife's edge. 80, 89, 88.
I don't know. Is the stamina running out?
Every 100, dude. Every 100 matters.
Oh, it's going down. It's going down.
It's dropping. Drops a couple more hundreds. No, he's gonna get that crack in the ending. It's gonna be exactly 88, but it's gonna be above 88.0. So I think that technically means the over hits.
Yeah, we both win.
Vegas is fuming. We both win. They don't like it when that happens.
Nathan with the S rank, actually. Just a couple of slider breaks. That's pretty unlucky.
Yeah, that must have been a bunch of slider breaks, though, right? Only 722 max combo and only 527k. Like, it's a really good job of never missing, but not, unfortunately, a great job of comboing.
All right. What is next?
Hidden 3. Because Yolkpie, Cat Burger, maybe Shield or something. Wait, no, Shield doesn't play Hidden. I don't know who their others would be for that. Like I said, literally the only map I haven't seen. Hey, Hidden 3, look at that. Yolkpie, if you're watching this, if you're watching the stream, type "I love T1G" in chat right now. Demonical actually said hi to me. What the heck?
Unintended results.
I'm not doing stats. I'm not doing stats. Take it up with Shadoos. That's not me, man. Love you, Demonical. Not my fault though.
Who is it playing this? Maybe it's... I don't know if it's the full roster. No, they're probably swapping someone for Catburger for this one.
Does Catburger... Wait, we haven't played a hidden yet, so I don't know if Catburger plays it or not.
No, that was a completely wild guess.
Nathan, Korean Malco, Shadow Motoko, yolkpie. Demonical teaching Antonio Phantasma. Alright, yolkpie I guess is not watching the stream. Feels bad, man. This is such a cool map though. I feel like every time this gets played, it ends up with like some exciting outcome. Whether it was like worst HR player FCing it to go to tiebreaker, or this reverse choke from Akoro, or like multiple FCs coming into the ending, trying to see who can hold on through the really big bursts in the last KI. I have to check. I don't know if there's actually been an FC on this. There maybe other than worst HR player. Oh, Zudi FC'd it as well. Okay. Oh, worst HR player got 99.64 AC on this? Excuse me? I didn't realize that. I was commentating that match and I didn't realize that. Oh my god.
Is that really all that surprising though? After all the crazy stuff he's been doing?
Yeah, no, I guess it's not. It's pretty amazing when it's 5-4 in winner semis though.
Yeah.
Alright. See how everybody does. This is proven to be a pretty varied map. We've seen some really good scores and we've seen some unfortunate other scores, so. I feel like most players, like, everybody in this match, or everybody that's playing this map in this match, is probably capable of doing at least okay at it.
I think this might be, considering for Carrot Field it's mostly just been Demonical doing extremely well, I think this might be, you know, not one of Demonical's strong skill sets, I would say. Maybe. So, potentially a good pick for yolkpie. I say these things as if they actually matter.
Yeah, what do the winners of this match get? Like a pat on the like a pat on the back, a good job, good job.
The satisfaction.
Sometimes that's all you need. The satisfaction of knowing you did well. Through success is internalized. Yo, Catburger though.
Yeah, seems like our bet on Catburger was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that guy has just been playing well in this match, to be honest. I'm quite impressed. Best act in the lobby by a decent margin, and the only FC. Phantasma acquitting himself well here also. About 180 combo behind. Combo behind. The real test in this map is like, if you FC the first 2/3, do you hit the big space stream coming up right here? And then how do you do in the last KI? Because this pattern that comes up in a second is like make or break.
It looks really scary. Whenever you play it in practice though, usually I think most people would tend to just hit that pattern, but obviously in an actual match with nerves and all, this one right here.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't seem too bad.
Five players hit it, but the Shadow Motoko and Catburger misses are...
5 players hitting this is kind of like the par for, for this map, I think.
That's par for the course for sure. You usually see a break or two, but I don't think I've seen like an 8-way reset or anything. Bro Phantasma's going. Unfortunately, Korean Malco and Nathan Remmer matching combined, and then some. This is a really good score from Phantasma. He's like on track for a reverse choke like Akoro had. He can FC the ending, which is no easy task.
Yeah, there's a decent spike in difficulty here.
Oh? Oh? Phantasma laughs at your difficulty spike. Your foolish difficulty spike is meaningless before his ability to play this map, apparently. That's a really good score.
Yeah.
Also, Nathan Ram and Korean Maliko putting up very, very solid combos. An S rank there from
Nathan
Nathan
again.
Ram. That dude is playing well also.
I don't know if there's been more than 2 maps that just had 1 slider break, or maybe 2 slider breaks, but I think this is a pretty uncommon one to have a score like that. I think a lot of players are just way more likely to get a miss on the ridiculous like spacing.
Yeah, I would expect a score like most of the others, where you have a big combo and the break on one of the diff spikes rather than an S rank.
I like how even this is.
Yeah, this is
4-4 now.
This is really well balanced. I mean, I don't know that it's hard to tell on paper, right? As for like all we talked about at the start, it's hard to tell on paper for these kinds of teams whether they're balanced or not. And turns out, looks like they are, which is really cool. Hard Rock 2. Fairfield's early picked the Hard Rock 1, and they're now eventually picking the Hard Rock 2. Little precision, very short one. I feel like this is the shortest map in the pool by, what, 15 seconds or so?
Somewhere around there. I'm interested to see if Antonio holds up to this one. Every Hard Rock that's been played so far with all the free mods and stuff, Antonio's been doing quite good at that, so I'd say that to me is probably like the biggest positive from this one. Like I didn't expect Antonio to be able to match on Hard Rock.
Yeah, I definitely agreed. He's been a pleasant surprise in terms of his performance. Yeah. Most of the others, I feel like we kind of had at least some sort of feel for. But a little less for him since Spain went out so early. We saw less of his play. Plasma coming back in. We haven't seen all that much of him because they've been playing kind of non-plasma maps. Doesn't play speed and tapping stuff, so he hasn't been able to show off. The guy is actually like really good at a variety of skill sets. It just isn't speed. I'm trying to remember. He played the Hard Rock 2 for UK against Finland and carried it. I don't remember if it was an FC, but he did have a really good score. So clearly a guy that's able to come in for precision and do well.
Well, he was already thanked for the carry, so he's doing well.
yolkpie, Korean Maliko, Catburger Chip. Catburger just gets to play whatever, huh? He like all sorts of different skill sets. Well, somebody's gonna have a match point after this. So will it be yolkpie getting a match point on their own pick? Carrot Fields getting a match point on their opponent's pick. This map feels actually like decently accessible as far as late round precision goes.
Oh yeah.
Though if you shake at all on 6.5, it is doom, as we just saw from Chip, and Antonio broke a little before in a kind of similar fashion. Just you can over aim anything so easily when the circles are that small. Got 3 FCs still for Carrot Fields once again, putting on a very good showing. Double FC on yolkpie and Catburger. They're keeping their team in it if Carrot Fields misses in the last quarter here, but we're going to quickly run out of time because it's 400k. I'm going to see 5 FCs on this map if nobody breaks on the end here. Oh, there goes yolkpie. Dang. Ruined. And there goes Amacetic. All right, 3 FCs? 3 FCs?
Carrot Fields actually almost just building a 4-way there. Almost.
Tricky little pattern into the ending with the squares, and then Hot stream? Hey, Mr. Plasma.
Thanks for the carry, Plasma.
See you whacked with the carry, Plasma.
Well,
Thanks,
Catburger had something to say about it, though.
Yeah. Catburger's playing so well in this match. Really, really impressive stuff from him. But
I can't play Hard Rock right now.
I can't play Hard Rock right now.
Yeah, okay.
True. Anybody love HR? Well, it appears that you do, friend.
All right, so clearly, as evidenced by them absolutely listening to you and your pick ideas, you know, what's the last one here? What's yolkpie picking?
I have to really quick see what's left. There's what? Nomad 1, Nomad 2, Hidden 1, DT4, Free Mod 1. I don't really want it to be Free Mod 1, but I could see this being Free Mod 1. They did pick the Free Mod 4 earlier, though they lost it on the break point. If it's not Free Mod 1, it might just be Hidden 1. I don't really see them just going like a raw mechanic map like Nomad 1 or 2. I don't think it's DT4 either, because Carrot Fields picked the other two DTs and won them both. So, oh my! All right, well,
it's very different.
Making a liar out of me. Dang.
It's very, very different. Also, this map is a complete sight read destroyer. That's probably the one thing to say about this one. It follows. We haven't seen this one too much on stream, so I'll just talk about it a little bit. Like there is so many like background rhythms in here that are mapped, but when you're just listening to the song for the first time, like that's not what you're intuitively like listening to. So there's a lot of really weird rhythm here that you kind of have to learn. So I don't know who's played this. My bet is not a lot of people, but
yeah,
it might create some pretty wide range of results.
Yeah, we can see a lot of things. Oh, you know what I overlooked when thinking about this pick is that yolkpie has shield.
Yeah,
I feel like shield on this map is a thing. Unless he just ends up not playing it, but I feel like this is probably a shield map. But yeah, this is like a not super friendly map if you are not super familiar with it. Yeah, like you said, we could see a wide range of results on this one. Hey, it is shield coming in. You know, what if we just get shield Catburger yolkpie, Korean Moloko? Okay. I like that roster for a map like this, with it being game control.
Funnily enough, with how Shield has been doing well in this show match, Shield wasn't even the first pick for a Taiwanese player in here. Actually, I wanted to have Dazzlewind play because Dazzlewind really popped off in quarters and qualifiers, and I don't think Dazzlewind has really gotten a chance to play a show match like this, nor really play these later pools at OWC since they've improved a lot. But unfortunately, yeah, they couldn't play today either. But again, it just kind of makes you wonder how like a lot of these teams have a pretty insane depth of players and somehow didn't make semifinals. Like, there's a lot of really good players to be found.
Yeah, Taiwan like had on paper a really strong roster this year with multiple very, very good players. So it's a shame not to get to see their whole team on this pool. But Dazzlewind has been a player who has done really well in community tournaments. Going back a ways, has really kind of evolved as a player over time. Get to show off a little bit in OWC sooner or later. Field, though, definitely a more than worthy replacement, I think, for a Taiwanese player in this particular match. And when you get to have him in for a map like this, I mean, that's very, very helpful to your team. You have no audio? What's going on with the music here? This is really weird.
This is very quiet.
It's just really quiet, yeah.
Yeah. It's a calm, relaxing song. Calm down. It's zen.
You need to calm down. You're being too loud. So you got 3 FCs in the early goings for yolkpie. Make that 2. Against none for Carrot Fields. I'm aesthetic with a decent combo, but this map separates the men from the boys. There are teams that are good at it, and then there's people who are gonna have a bit of a rough go of things. Was this a new custom for this tournament? I couldn't remember. Okay, I knew there was. Oh, it was the DT2, yeah, right. That was like an existing custom. Yeah, it was DT2. Okay. So we got Carrot Fields combo.
I forgot
league?
what DT2 was for a second.
Oh yeah, the daily care.
Yes. Yeah.
Kaze. I do such a bad job of like remembering map names nowadays. I just remember like the slot. It's like, oh, it's the DT2. What's the DT2 called? I have no idea. Somebody was making a joke about Hard Rock 1 being an all or nothing pick, and everybody was laughing, and I was like, I have no idea why people are finding this funny. I had to look at the pool to realize that it was called all or nothing to know that they were even making a joke in the first place.
Yeah, it looks like we're actually on track to get a tiebreaker for this one.
Let's go, dude.
The desired result.
It's all according to Keikaku.
And you know, this one actually. Oh, they're fine. This one actually was not scripted. I say that because there's definitely a show match once I did where it was scripted. I don't remember the context though.
Like you just wanted a ton of maps to be played and to go to tiebreakers.
No, they just threw so that they played the tiebreaker.
Oh, that's not. Does that count as scripted if you throw? It'd be scripted if you had it. Oh, if you had it outlined going in. That's like ad-libbing, you know. They're doing a little improv.
Alright, yolkpie with their last pick. Oh my god, guys, it's a tiebreaker!
Do not look at Korean Maluko's accuracy. Absolutely do not do it. It's a tiebreaker! For
match.
The second time this weekend.
See, that was the real script all along. The accuracy.
I think this tiebreaker is pretty cool. It's got that sort of techie element to it though, which can end up being sort of unbalanced sometimes. So we'll see how it goes for the players. We had Nomad 4 picked second by Carrot Fields a while ago, and yolkpie won it on a break point. So kind of keep that in mind. And they're putting in everyone. We're gonna have you're not gonna be able to see it, of course, but we're gonna have an 8v8 tiebreaker. It looks like.
You'll just have to imagine the other 8 people.
But the best 4 from each team in the top 8 slots, and then everybody else can just kind of fill in. I suppose will be probably what they do. So that way we get to kind of see the actual match.
Yeah, we didn't get to see this tiebreaker too much. We did see it in the winner's bracket. To astounding results.
I was part of that match and I still can't believe it.
I was there.
I was there. All caps, I was there. That's gonna be
I like how unreal that was. You get these people in chat that come in like a day later and they're like, they did what? Is this real?
I mean, USA just had this aura around them of invincibility for like 4 years. And South Korea was just like, no, screw that. We do not care. It's gonna be a fun one to talk about over the course of this week. Do a little,
Yes, Leo.
Hey, Alex.
Let's do it.
Okay, who would put on? Okay, Plasma and yolkpie, I guess.
Is Plasma the easy player?
Well, he said, "Can I put easy for the Vine?"
Okay.
I don't know if he actually plays easy. yolkpie does actually play easy.
Yeah, but that's definitely who I'm looking at for this one. I always have oh, I'm gonna sound really old saying this. I always have really fond memories of like this really old tournament in I think 2015, where GN played in the grand finals, and Easy was allowed as a mod, and he ended up having the highest score in the lobby in Score v1 with Easy, like without any score multiplayer or anything, in a grand finals tiebreaker. Shout out to anybody who remembers that. It was a long time ago. It was very memorable.
What map was that on? My brain almost wants to tell me that was on Uta.
Yes, it was.
Oh God, I'm old. We're old, bro. Do you remember EMI, Easy Mod Invitational, back then as well? It was like 2017, 2018. They hosted, I think, like they hosted like 2 of them. It was just like GN and I think Vaxay played one of them. Those were the good old days of just all kinds of different random tournaments. That like there were tech tournaments and marathon link tournaments and I don't know, the Wild West era of of tournaments where it's just host whatever you want. Who cares?
Yeah. Looks like it's not going to be a full 8v8. A couple people missing. We don't know who. You only get these 8 people, and 2 of them are playing easy mod, so, you know, however that's going to end up being like, at least that's what we know. There's 2 of them playing easy mod.
Looks like maybe RAM packs. But yeah, it won't matter because we wouldn't be able to tell from...
It's spun out as compensation.
What's the spun out mod multiplier on V2?
Oh boy. Does he even have one?
I have no idea.
Surely it's gotta be like the same.
Alright, they've got to be ready though, because we can't take all day on this, unfortunately. As much fun as we have just shooting the breeze.
Well, we do have, what, 45 minutes until Germany-Poland, in case you were wondering what we're all waiting on.
That match is gonna suck. This is so much better. What are you talking about? Alright,
Yeah,
so...
you know, I bet they're not gonna play easy mod on anything, so it's just worse.
I don't think I'm gonna take that bet, because I think I'd lose. Alright, so you got yolkpie and Plasma on easy. No mods around the rest of the lobby. I'm very curious as to how those 2 players do. Can we have the easy 2x rule that a lot of community tournaments have run, where you get double score if you run easy, so it's the same as no mod score multiplier? Somehow I don't know that it'll matter.
Doing this, okay? So Plasma is an easy player, evidently. Doing this is always relative for this one. Obviously, it's gonna be a lot harder.
Yeah, this is not the sort of map where you're really meant to play with easy, like, at all. Give me one thing for certain picks, but this is not one of them. I wonder who can put up the best combo overall, though. I think we saw what, like an 1800 and a 1700 combo last night, from Karcher and Taquito. And then Parisia had a really solid score as well. I wonder who puts up the best score in this. It's just gonna be.
I'm gonna say everyone in this lobby. There are some. I don't want to say like sight read traps in this map, but there are some really nasty patterns that if you don't know are there, are going to get you. And I mean, I know for sure everyone's sight reading this. No one's gonna practice a tiebreaker for a show match. This one right here. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I got a couple people.
Now, that being said, like, they may have, like, at least watched it, you know, maybe they watched the match last night, or maybe they watched the map pool showcase last week for fun, so they at least maybe saw the map, but it's a very different thing to actually playing it. Korean Moloko against the world here he is the only player, he is 1v14ing this lobby currently. I think Korean Moloko has more combo than everybody else combined since playing this.
All 14 players, yeah, probably.
Like, unironically.
We don't know how many people are actually playing.
Yeah.
And the score the score is still, you know, regardless of there being 14 people playing or whatever, I think is only showing the score for the 8.
Correct, yeah.
I mean, this is basic, you know, this is a 3v3, like, you know, it's really cool watching this easy. It's a 3v3, but they have like 12k points. But this maybe this is the real this is the real you know, the tension. This is what we're watching. Who's winning the easy mod? because it's pretty close.
Yeah, they were just dead even. yolkpie dropped a bunch of score on that stream though, went from 12k down to 10k. A bunch of score. He dropped 2,000 points. Yo, I'm just gonna watch Korean Malco here for a while because that guy actually knows what he's doing on this map. It looks like.
Ooh. I got a lot of people too.
Okay, that's
everybody. Only person with a combo.
Dude, Korean Malco. Oh, that's 1,400 combo though. That's still really impressive. Looks like yolkpie might be taking this one. Parrot Fields will be the latest victim of the mechanics team on Tech tiebreaker curse, which happened to USA last night. It may be happening to Carrot Fields here as well. yolkpie has taken the lead. yolkpie has lost the lead. It's within a couple hundred points because the scores are so low.
Yeah, at this point, it's not about who's gaining more score; it's who's losing less. Because it does drop your score a lot to get misses on Scorby 2. When your score is that low, it's kind of ridiculous.
When you're only at 15k in the first place.
Well, the lowest score in that tiebreaker that was played in USA South Korea was Utami with 385k. So Korean is already above that. We still have a quarter of the map left. The highest one in that lobby was 590. Don't know if he can get there with that break, but who knows? I think actually with the combo in the ending, he might actually be able to.
Yeah, if he combos the ending here, he can at least get 500k, which is an incredibly respectable score. These late round TVs are very, very difficult, so never gonna see like FCs, but oh, that slider break, I think that ruined the chance. Meanwhile, yolkpie and Plasma still going at it in their 1v1 here. Plasma taking a little bit of lead with those yolkpie breaks, so let's see if he can hold off his opposition. A little easy mod 1v1 between those guys.
And Plasma getting the better of him, but oh wait, a couple misses, losing score. Okay. He's got a 1,000 point lead, which doesn't sound like a lot, but
you know, yeah, into the ending here, it might be enough. And Korean Malco doesn't look like he's going to get the 500k. That's unfortunate. That last slider break ruined his chances, but that's still a really respectable score, 492k. It looks like
that
Plasma...
would have been the fifth best score in that lobby that was played. So, the real result of this one. Okay, yeah. Off stream, Nathan Ram with 498k.
What? He top scored and we didn't even see him.
Top score, not even in the top slots. That's unfortunate. A lot of really good scores actually, but red team. Who's red team? Carrot Fields? No.
yolkpie.
Win. Yeah, yolkpie technically winning this one by 800k.
They also had an extra player.
But yeah, they did. They did have an extra player, but I mean, wait, there's no spun out. He didn't actually take spun out.
Didn't actually take spun out. Shadow Mordecai went HDHR, by the way. A little 174k.
All right, well, that was a fun little show match from a lot of players that we don't really get to see. So I'm glad. I'm sure they enjoyed playing a pool they don't normally get to, and I hope the people have enjoyed watching some different players. Actually, it's kind of the same names most of the time when you get to these stages. It's kind of the same people over and over. You get to see them every week, obviously, when they get to the later stages. So yeah, I got to see some pretty interesting things. What's your takeaway from this one? Like who did really well?
Dude, Catburger and Antonio.
Yeah,
Catburger and Antonio were like revelations to me. Catburger played really well, and Antonio filled in for some picks and did really well on like those hard rocks that he was in for. I think those were two of the names that I was less familiar with that performed like above expectations.
Mm-hmm. Definitely someone to invest in. That's gonna be it. So I think